background because 3. Uh, but I will probably do the separate versus visuals to do the verses for you, and you decide on that. This one will be a little bit more wordy. Mods for DLC in these 3 games. So I have Laws, Codsworth, King, I think he's a glowing one, and my Red Scorpion friend. I forget his name. I think he actually red me every time I go near him. Yeah. Anyways, so I wrote down the categories. I'm mostly gonna go off of the top of my head from this stuff, but I do have some of it scripted too. It's a mixture of the two. But just know that for the categories, I have those definitely written down here. So the categories will be gameplay, guns and armor, world build, or like the the designs of their worlds and how they function as a post-apocalyptic world. Atmosphere, and or could contribute to sound design. Companions, story, enemies, VAT, the RPG mechanics, main character of the game, act, side characters, choices, decisions made in the game, and how they affect things. Dungeons and side quests also includes. It's straight off the path here. Locations and set pieces. I think very cool. So those two is the same thing. I'll be diving more into location. I pull up my map, and you got all these different locations on the map. I'll be talking about those instead of like the world as a whole. Alright, and then the karma system of these games, the music, the way the travel. I don't think I'll put fast travel in there actually. I think I'll advise. What happened to my thumbstick? Hold on. Okay. That was weird. My thumbstick was stuck and I was doing this weird thing. Anyways, I think I'm gonna leave fast travel and buy another versus that will be between the Elder Scrolls games. The art design and graphics will be separated from the world and such. That is the next category. And random encounters, glitches, and MC. Whoever has the negativity or negative side or and is to speak of, or that may affect them. Also includes crashes, such. I won't be including that into that category. Again, not DLC and mods. When talking about this, there's many like conversations that can be had on those alone. I'm not adding those, and each game has a different amount as well as different types of DLC. And some DLC are more 50-50 in some cases. Like not everybody can say something is the best, though in other maybe like Far Harbor I do think is the best or expansion for where I personally think it's the best for ones that I do best, I think are ones I've seen people say are the best, and then I've seen other people say other ones. Vegas and we certainly have a part there. See, there's functionality for the other DLC, like I love and stuff. For the world. Like, even though it has share problems too, I like that you can tame different animals and have them hang around at your base. Oh, that's right, I made everything legendary. Oh, frick. I have to turn that off. Ooh, what the frick? Yeah, please kill him. Okay, guys, where's his dead body? Where did leave the... Oh, funny. Whatever. Oh, I think I have another category on here. Let me see. So, guild and or factions. Factions will be for this, because guilds are for, Skyrim most, or the Elder Scrolls in general. There are factions, though. Like the Stormcloaks and the Imperials, for example. But that will mostly be focused on guilds. I'll also probably add a couple of little... I'm talking about these. Like, there we go. Thank you. So, and the last category is villains. So let's start with gameplay. Each gonna go into the gun games, different game to them, and when it comes to a certain aspect I have to focus on. So Fallout 4 kind of does take a little bit of a Destiny-ish gameplay approach, where it feels more like a first-person shooter in the tradition of those kind of games. And then you got, didn't mean the... No, I didn't mean to shoot you! Sword Taker's down! Excellent. Got my own buddy and he turned on me instantly. What the hell? I've never had that happen before. I'll have to be careful not to shoot him. So gameplay. When it comes to the gunplay, I think the gunplay is the best in Fallout 4. But I will say there is a unique edge and some downsides to Fallout 3 and New Vegas. New Vegas is the first game to have aim down the sights. Some of the guns will obscure your vision and be annoying. I noticed some assault rifles doing that to me. In frickin' New Vegas. I played all of these games recently, by the way. I was playing New Vegas recently, which I'm going to touch on some things with those. Oh my goodness, I get teleported all the way back here. Let me change guns. I want to use a different weapon. Let's use a laser pistol. Why not? Yeah. First sense because of the courier being someone who goes around delivering messages and stuff, being a courier in that dangerous open world, makes sense that he would at least know how to use a gun. Where Fallout 3, while you do have a gun training part with your father, it makes sense that your character wouldn't aim down the sights properly because he doesn't know how to use the guns, as well as he'd probably miss. It kind of gives it an RPG edge, though. You know, that roll of the dice combat that Morrowind has, where in Morrowind, not all of your hits are going to land. it kind of gives that same feeling to the shooting of Fallout 3, unless you're going to rely on melee-focused weapons. Depending on your swings and if they actually visibly land, then yeah, they're probably going to link a bit. But yeah, it does it very differently. What the hell? Are they shooting at us? But yeah, they each have interesting mechanics. I think they're shooting at one of my companions. Oh, they're shooting at my death paw. Stop shooting at him, you bastards. They really hate my death claw, don't they? Let's go this way. Stop poisoning me. But yeah, when it comes to it, the gunplay is very different in each of the games, the gameplay. And there's a lot added. I think I'll just put VATS in here, but I watched a video showing the difference between the VATS of just Fallout 3 and New Vegas, and how 3 is utilizing it to the best of its advantage and example, and as an example to that of the older Fallout games. So in a way, New Vegas also does that kind of poorly. I have to give it to Fallout 4 and 3 because 3 is unique and in favor of both the VAT system and the just the gunplay is really unique. Where New Vegas is the first game to do the aim down the sights and makes sense for the main character that you're playing, but at the same time it's also kinda sucks. But it works well enough. And Fallout 4 is a pretty solid shooter, and probably the game of the bunch that you're probably going to have the most fun with in general. And they give you plenty of tools and such to work with, as well as enemies and such in the environment, how you approach each situation with just your weapons alone. So I think gameplay is really solid for those two games in particular. New Vegas still does 3 and 4, just because of how unique 1 is, and how, get the f*** out of here. You just follow us now. How unique 1 is, and how the other one is just more fun and more, driving force to the game. And games are about their gameplay and fun. Though some games can be very different from others in how they approach things. I think that those two games do it best for whether it be unique reasons or not so unique. I'm like, what? The thing there? What the hell? Leave my death claw alone. Okay. So I'm going to give that to 3 and 4 mostly. Multiple games can win the rounds, by the way. 4 is probably the best gameplay-wise, but I think 3 is the most unique gameplay-wise. And I will mostly include this into the gunplay factor. There are other things into it, but those will have to wait in the other categories to talk about. So next is guns and armor. Once again, Fallout 4 and 3, I feel more memorable guns or like special weapons. 4, of course, because there's going to be so many different legendary weapons and iconic weapons. You have Grognak's axe. You can get a couple of other memorable, really cool stuff. They add new stuff like the muskets, the laser musket. The weapons series, all different types to each of the weapons. There's still a lot there. I'm about to shoot down that thing because it's my these guys absolutely love these guys. Yes. Jeez. This is kind of can mod, honestly. Yeah, I just found memorable for some of the some memorable pistols, like the Marine pistol. Love the mysterious pistol. Most pistols. There are a couple other unique weapons that you can find in the open world, but then you have Fallout 3. Great share of unique weapons special to that game. And I just find 3 and 4 once again have, especially being 3 was the first of these new modern 3D bots, was to introduce a lot more in the terms of armor and weapons. Armor, like Brotherhood Steel armor, you got like an Outcast variant. I think there's a couple of variants of Brotherhood armor. There's the Enclave armor. There is you can get the Antagonizer and the Mechanist armor. And you can get, oh, what was that other armor set? I just had it on the top of my head. But yeah, I love the armor in Fallout 3. There's a good majority of it looking back. And I also love those like druid looking guys that hang out by the tree dude there. That's a reference to the older Fallout games. But yeah, like there's some great armor there. Where in Fallout New Vegas, yeah, you got some of the Caesar armor. You got the the Ranger armor on the cover of most of the art. It really is just like a couple of armor sets you only remember from Fallout New Vegas, and mostly like I do think you genuinely do remember it because it's good armor, but I also think it's remembered because they shove it on all the art, the cover art and stuff. Because the power armor is also shoved on all the cover art of a lot of stuff, but you do remember the Antagonizer and Mechanist, and they're not on the cover art. And then you find other things like the Enclave or the Outcast Brotherhood armor. It's like, I love that stuff. Looks cool. I love the red and black look of the Outcast Brotherhood armor. I love whenever anything has a red or black trend to it, it looks cool. Like Shadow the Hedgehog, the power armor set. Or Dracula. No. But yeah, I just find the armor more memorable. And in Fallout 4, they made layers to your armor. Kind of like what, or layers to your outfits even. Kind of like how Morrowind used to do it. And they have power armor as its own separate kind of suit. There's also, for most of the games, there are radiation suits, as well as there's space suit and stuff. I think that is a Fallout New Vegas thing, but yeah, like other than that, most of the suits are the same thing that you see, same with guns, carried over from the other games. And they do all have their own unique blend of weapons and stuff, but I think that Fallout 3 and 4 in particular stand out because of what they have and how much they have. It just stands out more. And thanks to stuff like all the different types of legendary types of weapons and stuff, and even armor pieces, it gives a lot more variety. You got like the gray, the silver shroud, you got the Grognak outfit. got some pretty cool looking raider outfits. I love the one with the almost skull looking helmet that you can wear with a hood over it. That looks pretty cool. There's even one that you can, like, I love the cosplays you can kind of do. And character creation adds a lot too. Like, I made my Arnold looking character here. But I will touch on that when I get to the main character part of things. But yeah, I just find that once again, Fallout 3 and 4 win this section too. They just have a lot more armor and weapon choices. And I'm not going to take away from New Vegas. New Vegas was made in a short time. It's an impressive game for the short time they made it in. It is quite a spectacle in that sense. And we will get to the two other things that I do think New Vegas does really well. But for 3 and 4, taking this over. So next is World. And when I look at each of the worlds, once again, I sadly have to say Fallout 3 and 4 win this one as well. You got Boston, and you got all these other locations that actually looks like a post-apocalyptic world, and then you see Washington D.C. and it's like it leaves such a big impact on you. How like ruined these worlds are and how they look. They actually look like they are post-apocalyptic. Fallout 4 is more colorful, and there is good colors to both the previous two games, but I think the colors work better for Fallout 3. Even if it's ugly and looks gray and such, it really works there because of that setting. And I really love it. Where I found a lot of problems coming back to New Vegas. New Vegas kind of feels like it's got New Vegas itself, but do you remember New Vegas because it's an interesting city, or because it's once again the only place to remember? I don't remember a lot of the places in New Vegas, even stuff like the stuff I'll get into another section. Sadly, like, New Vegas doesn't stand out to me. And this isn't a hit piece on New Vegas, by the way, if you're wondering that. I am genuinely going through, when I was playing each of these games, how I feel. I remember Diamond City. I remember the main location that you spawn at. I remember your frickin' vault. I remember quite a few of the vaults. I love the that witchcraft building. I love that school that feeds you pink paste. The Brotherhood of Steel Zeppelin. Center of it all. It's like riding right under your nose at this Capitol building. It's like, I remember a lot of these locations, but when it comes to New Vegas, I don't remember a whole lot. And because it's like very canyon, very desert-like, and very empty feeling. Oh no. Will I even be able to... There we go. Look at that. I leveled up. Yay. But when it comes to it, I just found myself remembering a lot more. And when you see Boston and freaking Washington D.C. and the conditions in, it just leaves such an impact on you. The same can be said of New Vegas, but man, there's a lot. It feels like there's a lot more life and a post-apocalyptic feel to 3 and 4 because of its big, well-known locations. It just stands out more to you. And, is that my guy? I don't think that's my guy shooting, though. Why is everybody kind of... Everybody is freaking, freaking, like, legendary. I should take that mod off. I also love the loot in some of these games. You got a freaking Cthulhu blade, by the way. I forgot about that. And freaking Fallout 3, if I'm remembering that correctly. That's freaking cool. In the Dunwich building, which is a memorable location. You remember Megaton, sorry, and Rivet City. I don't know why I called it that. You remember those locations, and you're just like, yeah, these are able to stand out on their own. Come in here so I can get out. Claws, get them out of my way. But yeah, you remember a lot of the locations. You remember the world. I'll get into the location part. You know what? I'll just bunch the location part here, since I don't want this video to go on too long. But a lot of the locations are so iconic and memorable in Fallout 3 and 4. You're just going to remember a lot of those areas and such a lot better than you will with Fallout New Vegas. There's a lot of like farmlands. You do have those bomber guys, but man, like the locations and set pieces really stand out, and they even top the Liberty Prime section in Fallout 4, but it's still a memorable part of Fallout 3 as well. But yeah, like there's so much more I just remember and like better from Fallout 3 and 4 that stand out more to me. From the cities, where Fallout New Vegas has those moments, but most of it is like you got forgettable vaults, where you got the Gary Vault and some of the other really cool like frickin' vaults and locations in the other Fallout games. And it's just like it doesn't have that same impact in New Vegas. You see a lot of empty land or farmland that looks like really, like in real life you could probably come across an actual abandoned farm or farmland, and it would be no different. If it doesn't feel right. And some characters are even kind of dressed like they would be dressed today, where they, in Fallout 3 and 4, they don't quite always feel like they would be dressed that way today. You have characters wearing fancy suits or dressed like... In, like, New Vegas, you have all the freaking strippers and such. It feels too modern in that sense. And there's still a lot of uniqueness and great art style to that, but I feel like, once again, because of how Fallout 3 and 4 is able to approach its... and just how massive it feels on the scale of being very, feeling very post-apocalyptic, they just stand out more. Like, just looking at this world, once again, it feels like it stands out more. As this post-apocalyptic world, you see all these desolate buildings and stuff, they just, once again, pop. New Vegas, you have that problem of a lot of locations. Like, you could genuinely see that as abandoned even today. It doesn't have, or it's just very empty. And then you got the mountain problem. Each of the games have their own climbing kind of issue, but Vegas, I noticed, has the worst when it comes to a lot of the mountainous region. Even little hills can sometimes have stupid invisible walls quite a bit. The other games do somewhat have this, but not to the extent New Vegas having it, and it got really annoying making the open world not as fun to explore as Fallout. I also remember when I was looking up all the rare weapons in each game, I literally found everything within just a couple of minutes that I really cared about looking for, or found unique weapons in armor in Fallout New Vegas, where it did take me a longer while with Fallout 3 and 4 to find all of those. So I just had a much better time than comparatively to New Vegas and what I was able to do there. And I just found these unique things to talk about when I wanted to do this video. I kept finding different things when playing each of the games. I'm playing Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4 all at different times. I'm even playing Fallout 76 with friends because I just got for free the freaking Fallout, thanks to Game Pass. I got Fallout first, so I've been playing all the different games. Just like from the like experience in each of these. For background footage because I can't sadly use New Vegas or 3. But this will be a mostly commentary-based video where I will make a sequel video that will mostly be a visual versus between these games, and I will try to edit it down to each game comparatively next to each other. For right now, this is more of a commentary-focused one. So I'm going to go into the next category, that is atmosphere. Atmosphere of Fallout 3. I do think Fallout 3 does the atmosphere the best of these three. Fallout New Vegas is basically the same game because it's using the same engine and such, which admittedly isn't 4 as well. Whatever. But yeah, they're all using a very old engine, honestly. And some of them have outdated features that they still work to the best of their ability and the factors. And shooting up, strong. Oh god, why did I have hardware everything legendary? Where'd they go? Did he kill them? I'm gonna check. But I think 3 does the best with atmosphere. I think 4 has a decent atmosphere too. Like, I do remember the school with the pace. Why do you use freezing double barrel shotgun on you, your dog? I do remember like that pink paste school, and that frickin' creeps me out. The witchcraft building there with the frickin' dangerous ass Deathclaw. Is that a power suit just sitting there? Oh! Oh, jeez. Yeah, we're just standing there. Get him! Get him, my minions. But, now, while they're doing that, I do find the atmosphere stands out. Once again, more in 3 and 4. New Vegas, and I will get into this when I get to the dungeon part. I just don't feel like the atmosphere always hits with New Vegas. It doesn't have that same impact. But once again, like this isn't as big a category as the others, but it does help to contribute to your immersion of the game and your overall feelings, like you're feeling scared or maybe fearful of what's around the next corner. And I do really feel that in Fallout 3 and even in Fallout 4 to an extent, that it has some decent atmosphere. New Vegas, and once again this will play into the other category, which is later down in this, which is the category of the dungeons and vaults, side quests and stuff. But I will get to that when I get to that. So let's move on to companions. So when it comes to companions, Fallout 4 does have the most memorable companions in my opinion. There are a lot, like, I'm surprised by how many memorable, cool companions this game had. Even the ones that I hear some people say they don't like, I remember them, and I do think they're pretty cool. I've heard people say they don't like Strong. I love Strong. Strong's freaking hilarious, and once again, I love having a super mutant. It just feels cool to have a super mutant by my side. And Oops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shoot you. I'm trying to be careful because I don't want my companions to get shot. Especially my scorpion. He attacked me last time. I shot him. Is he hurt, by the way? He's like... Yeah, he's stuck. That's great. I will be getting to a glitch section, don't worry. And when it comes to companions, like, I can name a bunch of them. You got Strong, Nick Valentine, Piper, Kate, Curry, Codsworth. You even have a kid from Little Lamp in 3 brought back. Hello, are you friendly or mean? Oh, you're friendly. Okay, it's these guys. You remember a lot of the characters, companions and stuff, and they leave a impact on you. You can even romance them and stuff, which it kind of feels like something a BioWare game would do. And it gives more weight to those characters. Oh my goodness, I'm having some bad frame rate right now. I think it's because I'm heading to Diamond City. But yeah. Memorable. You got Dance, you got, here we go. You got Dance, you got, what do you name Kate? I'm not going to name any DLC, but I will say Ada was a DLC character, and because of the DLC she's in, you can customize, I think, Codsworth and Curry. And I like Hancock's great too, Nick Valentine, of course, if I haven't already named him. There's just a lot of memorable companions, and it feels like a great variety of companions. Like you have Vince, you have people from different factions. Each faction has their own companion, which adds some weight. You're go on a roam. Oh, I think I went on a psychopathic Terminator rampage because, you know, I'm old Arnold Schwarzenegger. Wait, why am I wearing that armor again? How do I... Oh my goodness, even the freaking... Yeah, I made myself old Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I don't know why I have armor pieces covering me up. Oh crap. Everybody's dead here. I didn't think that I killed most people. Oh god! How am I going to get my hair cut? Anyways, and then let's get to Fallout 3 and New Vegas, so I can stop talking about 4. When it comes to New Vegas, you have Boone, you have Veronica, you have Lily, which is this Nightkin. I don't like Cass. Cass is freaking annoying-ass cowgirl, basically. It freaking pisses me off. You got Rawl. Lily's the Nightkin grandma, just like a farmer. And you got that Rex the cyborg dog, which I think is a callback to Fallout 2. And he's with like a bunch of Elvis Presley impersonators. This big group of Elvis Presleys. And they do leave impact, but then you got you got Fox in 3. You have Charon. You even have a female ghoul companion. You got that Brotherhood of Steel character there. You got that follows you on your quests. You have, you know what? I'm going to bunch actors and side characters kind of into this category. Maybe I should have done that in the first place, so that I can kind of get that category out of the way too. You got Fox. There's Dogmeat. I almost forgot about Dogmeat. Dogmeat is a staple of the series, and you also have Dogmeat as a German Shepherd. I think you can, thanks to Creation Club or mods, change what he looks like. though those will not be counted once again because I am not counting mods or DLCs. Because you would also have more companions and such, armor and such added thanks to DLCs and mods. As well as they're not, like, not all of them are, like, especially mods are not official to the game itself and how they contribute to the gameplay and characters and such, or armor. Like, you can still use copyrighted stuff. Where's Piper? Where'd you put Piper? But yeah, I found that a lot of the characters are very lively. There's just a lot of memorable characters, even side characters, in just Fallout 3 alone. And like when it comes to Fallout 3, you have like great actors from Liam Neeson, I think Malcolm McDowell. You have the Three Dog, I think that's his name. He's very impactful and he leaves a impression on you. But yeah, I think there's a lot of characters and such that leave an impression on you in Fallout 3. I do remember Boone and Veronica and such, but they do, sadly, even though I know Veronica's very loved, I don't know. She's quirky, yeah, I just don't care much about her. She just doesn't strike me as standing out amongst the other characters. Like, Fox and even the cyborg dog, which shouldn't leave more of an impression on me. Like, I remember them more just because of the cool, like, setup for them. Frickin', you go to a bunch of frickin' Elvis Presley impersonators, and you get this cyborg dog, and you have to, like, go to the other people who are willing to donate to, this dog, his, part. And I just like that. Yeah, and usually I like unique other races to join me in combat. They give me that variety and sense of, like, this is a fictional universe, so I want to be with these as close to fiction characters as possible, instead of like, oh, it's another human. Yeah, they got personality complexes and stuff and backgrounds, and there are quests attached to the companions in New Vegas that do help to add perks. But other than that, like, I find Fallout 3 and 4 once again a little bit more, leave me more with an impression with their characters and companions, as well as the companions can freaking die in 3, like, permanently. Where even though they can't die in 4, you can have romances with the characters, different discussion opportunities. There's a kind of different karma system. I'll bunch karma into this. And I want to talk about the karma system of New Vegas real quick, because you can actually break the karma system, and this goes into the exploits part. Wow, I'm going to have to bunch all of this into one. But it'll quickly get through this. So if you become vilified with a certain class, like say the NCR, a certain faction, and they hate you, they'll even send people out to you, and I know that Luke Stevens touched on this stuff. You can actually break that, and Luke Stevens does not enough when he was doing his video, because you can actually break that by just simply either taking off and putting back on the NCR armor, or putting on another armor set of that other faction you probably are vilified with, and then it'll just say neutral on the map. You fix the problem, like, right away, even if it's just the same armor set. I actually recorded this for my friend that I did this, because I went up to a NCR base, killed them all, and then it said vilified, and then I just took off the same armor I was wearing and put it back on. And this, like, I was looking at the map before I did this. It said vilified on that location. As soon as I went to take off my armor and stuff, oh frick! It instantly said neutral. It was like, that's broken. Like, what the hell? Aren't you supposed to be have this unique, like, dialogue setup or system, or for how your world is affected by your actions, and yet you can break stuff like that. I know there's exploits in the other games. The other games, of course, has glitches. Here's the last thing I was going to get to, by the way, when it comes to glitches. Each of the games have their own exploits and glitches. I've used exploits and glitches sometimes in each of the games. Fallout 4 has probably got it worse. But, man, and when it comes to crashing, especially on console, it's probably different for different people, but unless you don't believe me, Fallout New Vegas crashes the most for me. Fallout 4 surprisingly holds its own for me, unless I overload it with mods or it takes that long while before it finally does crash. Which it has, but it still takes a hefty amount of time before Fallout 4 crashes. I at least trust that it's not going to crash on me. But when it comes to New Vegas, I'm scared to record that game sometimes, because you're just gonna have to either I have to cut out so many parts of me going back into the game, but man, the game crashes so much on me. Literally, on one of my characters in particular, the dam part, when you're doing the Hoover Dam mission, it crashes every time I try to do that mission. Every single time. Either I'm going inside of the dam, or I'm just starting that mission. It will always freaking crash. And now, recently, when I was playing these games for just this video, I had it crash that mission. It was crashing more than any of the other Fallouts. Fallout 4 did have one, like, freezing moment where I had to close the game myself during a loading screen, but it still took a while before that happened. And Fallout 3, I was surprised that it didn't even crash after hours of playing it. I was like, wow, frick. I know it's probably different for other people, or the different copies of the game for other people work differently for other people, maybe, or even, like, it's different on different platforms of how much it's going to crash. For these, I'm judging mostly the Xbox versions. I am playing the PS4 version of this, but, like, man, why does New Vegas crash the most for me on that game? Like, it even loses me a lot of play progress, which freaking sucks. But yeah, I wish it wouldn't do that stuff as much. Okay, let's check some of these. I might go in here. Yeah, that pisses me off. So once again, New Vegas, like Fallout 3 and 4. I think 3 wins this one when it comes to the exploits and glitches, because it's the least glitchy and the least exploited, I guess. Well, maybe not there, but it does much better somehow. Where somehow New Vegas and Fallout 4 fail in that department, especially. Oh, who's shooting? Yes, you stay by me. I don't know why he's crouching down next to me. You guys gonna go fight? There's enemies in there. Yeah, there you go. Right there. Oh god. Oh god, he's got a skull next to his freaking name. But yeah, New Vegas sadly loses it here for me. And several of the categories I just did there. And even, like, actors, like, the guy, from what I've heard, and even, like, videos that were doing, like, top 10 lists and stuff, have talked about how, I think there's a actor from Friends who plays the main dude that you're after, and the courier's after, and got shot by in Fallout New Vegas. I heard that guy was not only is he phoning in a lot of his lines, but I heard there was probably some drama behind the scenes, and it seems like the actors don't have as much impact as, say, like Liam Neeson and McDowell once again. It's like, even the actors in frickin' Fallout 4 leave more impact on you. And frickin' Codsworth being able to say your name. No, that won't be included, but I do think they leave more impact on you in those. Oh, I need help! Thank you, guys. Why does it sound like there's a guy down here with me? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my damn. We be going ham. Shotgun shells, that's what I was saying. Shut up. But yeah, like, I find that New Vegas is got some of the weaker aspects here. And there's just so many, once again, there's so many vaults and memorable locations, as I was saying, dungeons, quests, side quests and stuff. You love that stuff in Fallout 3, and even 4 has some good ones. There is a lot of fetch quest stuff, and there's a settlement that needs your help kind of stuff. But other than that, I think it does a good enough job of both Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas does have great quests, but they don't nearly stand out compared to Fallout 3. So Fallout 3 would mostly win in that department. And there's a lot of people starting to notice and come forward about Fallout 3 is like better than we thought. And it does, I do have to agree on some level. I originally did not like Fallout 3. I just did not care about this game, but this game is aging on me much better over the years. And I just like Fallout 4 because of the mods, and I do think it's genuinely fun. I think the companions are very memorable. It does leave a big impression. And don't worry, New Vegas has some stuff it does way better than both these games, but so far with the stuff outside of what I'm about to talk about that New Vegas does do well, it does pour at the rest of that stuff. And that stuff I'm going to get to. Okay, so let me lay it out here. Oh, freaking trap. Let me out here. So New Vegas, where Vegas has strengths like the RPG mechanics, mostly in the dialogue stuff, and of course the main your choices. I wouldn't necessarily as a karma system, but like I said, the karma system can be exploited and broken in Fallout New Vegas. Like if you want to be a psychopathic killer, I feel like it's more impactful in both Fallout 3 and 4. People will hate you for the rest of your life, where you can mostly just deviate from that by simply wearing the outfit of that faction that hates you, and then all of a sudden they're neutral with you. It's just kind of broken in that department of things. But yeah, it really succeeds with its choices, which honestly Fallout 4 and 3 do have some choices. A lot of the side stuff in Fallout 3, side quests and stuff, have way more choices. I came across this one quest, get on my way, where, oh my goodness, here, I'll close the door. Get the frick out of my way, thank you. Where there was this settlement of people. It's like, I think this big fancy settlement, and, oh frick. Okay. Oh. Go in there, kill him. What? No, kill him. I don't see him. Where is he? Claws, you're useless. Why is he... By the way, I don't know why he's a tiny Deathclaw. I didn't really think about that, because I'm pretty sure Deathclaw isn't this size to you. But,
Loctite.
Ooh. Oh, hi. Wow, you're just suddenly standing there. Why do you glow a weird green sometimes? Yeah, when it comes to it, like, there are some decision-making more in the side quests. Like, they do give you an option to kill these ghouls, because there's like racist and slavery themes to Fallout 3 and such, utilizing the ghouls and the humans and such. And, can I just say this? Like, the character models really quick, and all three of the games are ugly, but I will say that Fallout 4 is the best when it comes to the character models. Because look, like, if you compare, like, the Deathclaw to the one in the ones in 3 and such, or the ghouls, or even other creatures, I love some of the new creatures they add, like the giant mosquitoes and such. I love their redesign much better here, and of course it has that graphical edge, kind of, compared to those games. And even though the super mutants aren't as cool or terrifying as they are in the others, they do kind of have that edge. I do love the scorpions, and of course I love the redesign of a lot of the Mirelurks and crap. But yeah, like, and the humans are at least mostly bearable and don't look like they want to suck my soul. Which is the same problem I have with Oblivion. Like, they look like they want to eat my soul with their ugly ass faces. Like, I can at least find it bearable to look at the people in this frickin' game compared to those, so I just want to quickly say that. And this is the more colorful of the Fallout games. But yeah, like, when it comes to the RPG system, there is also a decent... It's mostly got that, like... So, this is the same thing with Cyberpunk. I've been kind of mad that people are getting back into Cyberpunk. Yes, the anime is good, but the game is still trash. Cyberpunk is still trash. It is what I call a fake RPG, and if you watch Beat 'em Up's video on that game, it is such a fake freaking mess with its dialogue system. It's like the glitches and stuff are actually hiding the real problem with that game. I think the reason, though, that Cyberpunk, just like other games, stands out is because, mostly when talking about Fallout, is because that story is engaging. Those characters mostly are engaging and memorable. I do think Cyberpunk has some... it has a better presentation to it, where, in other words, it sucks in every other case. Its RPG elements are fake. The only things that are different is the beginning, like, what you choose as your character in the beginning, only the beginning plays out differently, and only the ending between... That's something to be expected, just like in other games that have romance situations like Fallout 4 has. And you have choices and such when it comes to the romance options, and while the choices are very bare bones and the dialogue system terrible in Fallout 4, there are choices by the very end that actually do affect things. Take, for example, just the factions that you choose. If you choose, say, I chose the Brotherhood on my Xbox playthrough, they will want you to kill the Railroad, and you can kill the Railroad and Institute permanently. Not only that, you lose all their quests, you lose whatever loot you could have gained from them, and you even lose important characters and companions permanently in that playthrough, which gives it that edge of wanting to come back and play it again. Where in Fallout 3, not only can you lose your companions for good, giving it this kind of edge of being like, oh, this is kind of scary now, and I'll feel I'll never see him again unless I start a new playthrough and try to rescue him again. Have him as my companion. It freaking affects you in that way. Being hurt like all sorts. But yeah, I feel like that stuff works. Where in New Vegas, there is still that world impact to a degree, but it's mostly in the dialogue that stuff affects things, as well as, once again, the endings and the structure and what path your character takes as you play that game's story and such, or stories. It does a really good job at those dialogue RPG elements. Where Fallout 3 is mostly side quests related stuff, choices, and Fallout 4 is mostly to do with the ending and like which of the Railroad or Brotherhood of Steel or Institute or whatever. And there's no like clear, like when it comes to Fallout New Vegas and 3, I think 3 has a very clear black and white villainy. Like, you're meant to look at the Enclave, they're the bad guys, and the Brotherhood's kind of meant to look like the good guys in your eyes. So there is kind of a clear black and white thing going on there between good and evil. Oh my freaking goodness. What are you guys doing? Oh, is this a vertibird on the... Oh, frick. Holy crap. Yeah, there's a vertibird in the road, too. Frick, what happened? There's blood all over. How did they die anyways? Was it a super mutant or something? Where are the bodies, too? Did they just get disintegrated? But, yeah, there are different ways in how each game approaches its choices, but if I had to give a game when it comes to the dialogue choices, I have to give it to New Vegas there. New Vegas definitely wins that. And I do think Vegas has the strongest story because of how the story can branch off, how unique it is, and even the main character. I do like the main character. Even though I said that thing about this is the first game with the aiming down the sights, it makes sense for the courier, though I like the edge that they take with Fallout 3's main character. The way your main story affects the main character, both 3 and 4, is very straightforward, though that can be looked at as a good thing because the main quest line will only take you to a few set locations, where the rest of it you're free to do whatever you want, where New Vegas does kind of take you everywhere and it feels like a big mess kind of in the structure, depending once again on the dialogue choices. But you will be going a lot of places and you will have seen quite a few of the locations, more important locations mostly. But they give you enough to expand on and explore when it comes to Fallout 4 and 3. Because it's got more of a straightforward story, where the roles are reversed. You have the father looking for the son, or the daughter, or whatever. It's a son, yeah, it's just the son. And you have the reversed role where the son and or daughter is looking for the father in this particular set. So, and it's reversed. And then when it comes to New Vegas, there is there are gray areas to the villains, but there are motivations, and it's not necessarily bad to have motivations, but it does give you more clear answer of evil and good in Fallout New Vegas, where the guy who kills you is like, he's kind of a jackass. You can decide his fate, but he is kind of looked at as in a villainous light. You got the Caesar, though you can join him. He does look very evil, there are decisions you can make. What the frick was that? Where where they have, you can see like the different points of view on their. It's kind of the same as like the Minutemen, where they bring like this old, this very old like politics and setup to their faction to the future, and kind of place those into order. And it's kind of similar like the Minutemen, except the Minutemen look more like good guys. But they all have like their different viewpoints and such. And while they're not always black and white, you do get a sense from Caesar that like it's definitely evil feeling, because he freaking crucifies people and crap. It's just like, yeah, I can't see a guy doing this kind of crap being a good guy or having a very gray area, but he's definitely a dumbass. And the NCR are kind of like the equivalent of the Brotherhood of Steel in this game. They're a very militarized America kind of army, like military. I don't know how to say it actually, but you know what I'm trying to go with. From that basis, they have a lot of like military veterans, rangers. They have their own military base. They're very much set up like a Americanized military, which makes sense. But they are very kind of straightforward. Look like the good guys, equivalent to the other guys. What other factions are there in New Vegas? So NCR. Then there's the people of. You do have that weird Happy robot, Mr. Happy or whatever, that wants to take over. But it is like very much built on, the New Vegas is built on greed, and those people in control are kind of assholes. They kind of look evil as well, but a different type of evil, where Caesar is more about war and destruction. And hi crows. Okay. And fine. And you got him where he is more like greed and all that crap, and lust, because of the stripper places. And they got a very mafia looking gang hanging out there, and then you got the cannibalistic restaurant where they're dressed fancy, but they got the creepy ass masks. Though nobody's gonna top the cannibal quest from Fallout 3. That quest. But yeah. When it comes to log and the way they structured the log, and it's still edge how you approach the world of Fallout. You can still go past. Just know that you'll wait the hell out of it. And not always a good way. It's just hilariously bad. And I feel like because your companions can die permanently, and because characters will pretty much hate you for the rest of the game, or even attack you if they see you on sight, and it doesn't matter how you're dressed or whatever, and that there is a karma system for certain characters. Like Strong doesn't like it when you're wearing power armor in this game, or how you approach somebody's romance. You can even mess up the opportunity of even being able to approach a character on romantic side of things. But yeah, like, that's mostly something that. And then, of course, like I was saying with Fallout 4, you can completely obliterate factions. Like the Railroad and Institute could be dead forever, or the Brotherhood of Steel can be dead forever. It's like, you lose those quests, and you lose all those freaking whatever companions were attached to them and such. And you lose whatever goodies came with them. Like, you decided to choose other goodies over theirs. It's like, frick. And it does suck. It does have a repetitive edge to the quest in the same way, you know how when you beat the Thieves Guild in Skyrim, it does give you a lot of samey quests that you're doing the rest of the game, and they can kind of go on forever. It's kind of like that in some cases with Fallout 4. But I do think there's still enough variety here and there, and there's enough opportunities that they give you. I don't know where the hell I am, by the way. I'm just kind of wandering randomly, trying to find some more action for us. What the hell? Okay. Weird. This is Deadpool with some legendary loot on him. Yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, I just find that New Vegas does it better in the dialogue. The main character works to the functionality of the dialogue because he feels like the most mysterious character that you, the player, can put your feet into his shoes and become that character the most, where they give a voice acting main character to Fallout 4. Though there is a lot of good to the character creation, you can make some horrifying looking monsters in the character creation. And I do like that edge, where 3 and New Vegas are very limited and have that ugly, like I said with the NPCs, ugly looking character models that I just don't like. The character designs just aren't quite as, they're very limiting compared to what we get with 4. But still, I think because of the aspect of, like, you know how Master Chief used to be, he's supposed to represent, and, like, the player is able to become the Master Chief. And then the 343 games took that away and made Master Chief just a straightforward character with all this story crap, and there's cutscenes, and he says a lot more, and it's like, it feels like it's trying to be a movie or a TV show, hopefully not the terrible-ass Halo TV show. That's kind of the same approach that, sadly, Fallout 4, and even 3 to an extent, kind of has, because you're still somebody's son, you still have a life, Liam Neeson's your goddamn dad. Courier isn't as straightforward. You can make him according to how your choices and such through the dialogue system and how it does affect the world. So I do think on those levels, Fallout New Vegas is really good and takes the win there. Again, miss the potential choices. Oh, don't dismiss the potential choices and how they affect certain things in Fallout 3 and 4. I don't dismiss those. Yep, definitely are weaker. It's kind of, once again, I always battle with myself on these 3 games. I can't which one I like. Because even New Vegas, like, I can't say one of these games is better than the I think, but when it comes on a whole, I can't 50-50 on, like, oh, but I like this better in that game, or I like this better in that game. They just kind of even out, and then I can't decide, like, which one I like. And even when they are strong on other levels, there are things you shouldn't forget about those other games that they do pretty well. Romance options, I do like that. That's a thing in Fallout 4. I like that, depending on what faction you choose, you can potentially lose out on either characters dying for good that were companions of Voyo. You could probably develop some character between you and them. And it still has some good impact there. So I don't think those should be completely tossed aside. And I think New Vegas does better on some. There's a lot more variety there too. But there are choices, mostly the more impact, or like I was saying with Fallout 4, the faction, choosing between the factions and how, like, who you see wandering around your world alone. Like, if you choose the Brotherhood of Steel, they're probably taking little walks or have their vertebrate birds flying around fighting enemies or whatever's left of the Institute or the Railroad. But, like, when it comes to those big companion characters and stuff, you could lose out on them and their quests and even their goods for good unless you start a new playthrough and choose them, which gives it replay value. game has their own amount of replay value, whether it be in the side quests, the main storyline, and your dialogue choices, or the different endings and how, like, who remains by the end and how they just being, you know, bring the Earth or that open world there. And so let's see, what do we got? Yeah, I already talked about the locations. I think I went enough in Karma. Each game has different Karma systems. Some of them you can exploit. I noticed that New Vegas, you can very much exploit the Karma system in that. You can exploit the Karma system too. Like, you can literally just, like, go up to that church, the Church of Adam in Megaton or whatever, and you can be, like, donating to them and get good karma, or you just go to, say, Rivet City and kill everybody and you get bad karma. So it is easy to sway your karma. Absolutely. Fight him. Come on. Hit him. There you go. Good job. Yeah, it is easy to... What the frick? Is he dead? What am I kidding about? Oh, I know what I was gonna do too. I was gonna do some of my quests that oh, frick! Oh, they're going after... I'm stuck. Oh! Help! Get him. Thank you. Is this guy? I should take a... Oh no, I'm encumbered. I should have known this was gonna happen. Let's eat stuff. Oh, I just ate some, a certain meat in front of my... Wait. Oh no, I just remembered what that is. I think I just called something. Where is it? What was that? Does it... Oh, it's for Death Skull Red Scorpion. Okay, never mind. Else, what the frick? That's my mod. And if I had to add art style wise, I kind of like 4 just because of some of the redesigns. Not all the redesigns work. There's another thing I saw somebody bring out where Fallout New Vegas took out like the Enclave and the Behemoths. Though they do have the Cassadors or whatever, the big moth bee things that I frickin' hate. They have the geckos and such. Fallout 4's got the mosquitoes. I like the redesigns of the Mirelurks. There's a lot of different enemy types and variety. I think I like the enemies as well as I think the random encounters, which is another category, are much better in Fallout 3 and 4, and it makes sense why they would be better because, first off, 3 has comparatively a lot of unique, different, variety-filled encounters that you can run into, like prisoners with collars on and stuff, where New Vegas not so much in those departments, and 4 has like the fact that there's all these different types of enemies, like there's glowing types, or like look at the different types of Deathclaws there are alone, with the Matriarch Deathclaw or the Alpha Deathclaw, all that kind of stuff. It adds a lot more to the variety of how many different things you can run into, and people are still probably running into, and it also depends on your level too, that you can get different creatures or random encounters in general. I think it's definitely bound to have more random encounters, and I think 3 and 4 once again do the random encounters better than New Vegas. And art design, I'm just gonna give it to Fallout 4 just because I kind of like that art design. Though the design of Fallout 3 really works to that game, as I was talking earlier, it feels both 4 and 3 because they feel so post-apocalyptic in their setting, where New Vegas, like, there's a lot of empty space and desert, and there's like abandoned farms and such, which honestly you can see that stuff existing in real life. It just doesn't give that fictional sense. I know that stuff like Megaton, while Megaton and Rivet City are like have some stupid things to them, like Rivet City's a maze, and Megaton is a town. It's kind of stupid. It's not entirely practical in the sense that you're in a crater where if it rains you're going to get flooded, and you decided to build near a bomb, even though it's a post-apocalypse, and I think people kind of get the sense, like, yeah, of course we know about the bombs, look at where we live, you idiot. But at the same time, you could say, like, maybe they don't care about if they die or not, because, like, if this is their living and they don't like their situation anyways, and it's dangerous as it is in the real world, then yeah, maybe not as many people are going to care about life. Maybe they do want that fricking bomb to go off. Who knows? But I think on a iconic and a design level, and since it's fictional freaking world, it's not real, so that is kind of silly to complain about. It still really works, and you're still immersed and remember that town very much because it's a very iconic location with memorable characters in it. So I think it still very much works on another level. Let's try and get one of my quests done here. I'm going to fast travel to one of them if I can. I wasn't going to go into fast travel with each of these games, by the way, because I think they work very similarly. There's Hubris Comics. Okay, yeah, let's go to Hubris, I said Humorous Comics. But yeah, let's go there. So, let's see, what else do we got? I talked about that. I talked about the factions. I should get more into villains with these games. Well, I also find that I just like the music. Like, Fallout 3 has memorable music. I do love New Vegas and Fallout 4's music, but Fallout 3 probably has the most memorable music. You're never going to forget that trailer too with the "I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to light a flame in your heart." You know, you're gonna remember that. I don't know why I can sing that well. But like, you remember that music, whether it's copyrighted music or not. It stays with you. And I have to give Fallout 3 that. And I do think there's some good music in 4 that people do overlook. There is some great music in 4. I love the combat music. I love some of the, like, the great epic music that plays, especially during the Liberty Prime sequence. In 4 especially, there's some good, that same great music during scenes in the, what is this? You got Scavenger's Lead. In Fallout 3. And I like a lot of the copyrighted music they have. You can even play on your little radio in each game. But yeah, New Vegas kind of is the most forgettable of them. Other than that song played in its trailer too, which I do find pretty good. Oh my this headset, this is a new headset and it's being dumb, and I don't get that. It's supposed to not be that bad a headset, and it's being an ass to me. But enough about that. We're talking about Fallout. So I know it feels like Fallout, like Fallout 4 and 3 are kind of winning this battle, I am coming to the conclusion, which I think is going to come down to villains. But just know that I love them all equally for different reasons, and this is just from my observation and my personal, like, opinions or thoughts on these. You can love whatever you want if you still think New Vegas is the best of these. I just thought it was interesting to bring this stuff up because I think that, t-shirts, what the hell? That New Vegas has a lot of stuff, a lot of problems that people do overlook, and I think there are things that Fallout 3 and 4 have that are great that people overlook. There's things to both that they overlook. But I do think New Vegas is a great game nonetheless. Don't think like this is trying to be a hit piece. I said that earlier in this video. But yeah, like, I'm not trying to go up against that game and say, you're wrong about it, it's bad. No, I think they're all great. They all have their own quirks to them, their own goods and bads, ups and downs. They kind of even out on a lot of levels, but I don't think Fallout 3 and 4 should be overlooked for certain aspects that they have. I do think they do things very well, too. And New Vegas is more strong in the story narrative department, as well as the way it utilizes its main character. But it is weak in quite a few areas from what I've been observing here, compared to 3 and 4. 3 and 4 are able to hold itself up in other areas and find a balancing point. They may not be great in their main stories and stuff, but they are great in other areas surrounding the main stories. I think they do a good enough job. Let's put this in and play this. The hell? That's weird. But yeah, I don't think they should be all overlooked. Did I already collect? I think I already did, yeah. It's already collected. I want to put a different outfit on. Let's put my Doom Marine outfit on. Do I have the Morgan U outfit? I don't think I do. Man, I don't think so. It would appear in the M section here if I did. Alright, I do have the other stuff. I think I have the Grognak stuff. I think I mostly got that because of, yeah, I have the Silver Shroud as well. Because I was making an Arnold Schwarzenegger-like character. But yeah, I have to say that I really found things I didn't think about before with both Fallout, with all the Fallouts. And sadly, because of how many times New Vegas is glitching, it is giving me kind of a hard time and making me somewhat pissed off at the game. But I'm not going to hold that entirely against it other than in the glitch section. But even in the glitch section and crashing section of what I was talking about, I was saying I did mention that it probably plays out differently for other people or different experiences. Maybe people have 3 crash more on them. Maybe people have 4 crash more on them, as well as it depends on the console or the PC. Maybe it's very different there too. So that's just once again, my personal experience, but I didn't forget to mention that, and I'm mentioning it again here. But yeah, like, and then let's get to the villains. So once again, I would talk about, like, there's Caesar, there's the frickin' dumbass played by the dude from Friends, that does leave somewhat a memorable villains. Where in Fallout 3, like, the Enclave are mostly your villains. They're memorable, but it's a very clear black and white kind of story in a way, in a sense. And then you have Fallout. I think Fallout 4 has some decent gray areas because all the games Mostly New Vegas and 4 probably win this one because there can be a lot of room for like gray area for these, though there are clear villain and hero looking archetypes. Like the Brotherhood of Steel are kind of, once again, trying to look like your heroic knights in shining armor. And you have the Railroad, which are kind of like the rebellion, this rebellious underground operation of people. I don't know how to word it. And then you got the Minutemen, which feel like they come from an old time. A time of old, but brought anew. Which a lot of the games have those kind of factions and such to them. What is that? What is glitching over there? Shut up, Cotsworth. And you got the Institute, and the Institute's probably the best example here because they are looked at as kind of like the enclave of the game. They're like the villains of this game. I love the utilization of the synths in the same way racism and slavery was utilized as messaging for Fallout 3. The Institute the synths kind of give this other kind of like trust example. Like there's not much trust amongst people. You see this when you enter Diamond City. There's, I think these brothers, one of them is holding his friend or his brother hostage at gunpoint, and you either shoot one of them, you decide right there if you want to shoot one of them, or you let the guards take care of it, or you kill the guy he's gonna shoot. It's like, that's like a trust, there's like a trust element there. It's interesting. Okay, what are you shooting at, dude? Oh, what the frick? What is that? Oh, it's a raider. Kill him. Okay. Yes. Oh, frick, I'm over encumbered again. I gotta drop... I gotta drop some stuff. What do I drop, though? Okay. How much... I think I'm gonna drop that. Does that take enough off? Okay, that's good enough. I won't pick anything else up until my quest requires it. Wait, what is my quest anyways? Did it take off some of my quests? Read the director's message. I don't know why these went back on again. I want those off for right now. But yeah, the Institute kind of give you, once again, you can't have a clear like black and white. It's not clear black and white kind of characters. Like they're made as these villains the whole time, but just like any of the factions, you have a companion you can either romance, build character development with, and then you feel bad when you freaking have to kill them or something, or betray them, or their faction that they work for. You even find out Dance is a synth in his story, and you're just like, there's some really good stuff going on there, and like you find out that your all grown up son is the leader of this institute, and you can't look at them as like the bad guys anymore. It's like, frick, puts me in a difficult situation now. And then you're thinking like, even if that's the case, and you see the perspective of like what the Institute wants for the world and like their points of views and their opinions and such, like, and you kind of take that to heart, or you look at it in a light like, okay, maybe these guys are still evil even though this is my son. I'm still going to do this to the Institute. And then at the last minute, you find out your son, even after death, he freaking gives you a new son in return. in your head and you're like, Freck, he was nice after all, loving. Freck. Like, there's a gray area, once again, for those factions in different ways. It's like you can't, there's not always a clear good or bad. But I like that about both, especially New Vegas and Fallout 4, that there's actually, you can take in the different points of views of each of the factions and you can decide for yourself. Like which one you side with the opinions and perspectives of more. It's not always a clear black and white. There is like a grayness to it in between. And I like that, mostly about those two games. Who the hell are you? Oh, it's Bobby. Okay. Bobby no knows. Shut up. But yeah, I love that stuff. So at the end of the day, I'm going to say that I actually think that Fallout 3 is the best Fallout game of the modern day. Where, in my personal preference, I actually really like Fallout 4. I play Fallout 4 the most. I love different aspects. I picked apart a lot of things. I find the characters very memorable, especially the companions. It's just the one that stays with me the most. And then I'm going to say for the people of the world that love Fallout games, everybody has already made most of their decision on Fallout New Vegas being the greatest. So, like, in the terms of the people, the fans of Fallout and the people of the world, New Vegas is looked at and I have seen people hate it on New Vegas because it's so popular. The same kind of hate I see with Resident Evil 4 and Skyrim. It's like, it's so popular. I think that's unfair and stupid. But I don't think you should overlook everything with each of these games. Like, they all have qualities that they each do really well. Personal favorite, Fallout 4. Don't know why this game me. Though I said some of why. And I want to deconstruct these games down to those different levels. And I'm going to do the same with the Elder Scrolls series as well. And I think Fallout 3 is definitively one of the better games. But if I was putting Fallout 3 up against the standards of Fallout 1 and 2, I mean, it's more accessible, definitely, to a more modern audience. But when it comes to Fallout 1 and 2 and their story and the gameplay perspective to that game, because it's be a different gameplay style from first-person shooter RPG-ish game. It's a different perspective, both in its camera angle and its gameplay and such. So in those terms, it is the Fallouts of that respectful gameplay loop and story, and what they will bring to the audiences. If you ask me what my favorite, like, what I think of the best Fallout is, I think 2 is my personal favorite Fallout game. That is one of the best of the modern Fallouts I enjoy and play for the most. But I do think Fallout 2 is like my personal favorite. There are some great things in Fallout 1 as well. Just that ending, oh frick, why am I constantly picking stuff up? I'm a dumbass. Let's get rid of some of these, so that gives me 4. Okay, let's get rid of that. How much weight? Okay. Why do I need multiple of those? There we go. I just need a Grognak t-shirt. I love Grognak because it's a reference to Conan the Barbarian, and Conan's one of my favorite movies. Let me go in third person. Oh boy. But yeah, like if I had to say on the conclusion of these games, love whichever Fallout you love best. I don't think it truly matters which is the best, but it is interesting to examine different features and such, and I think they all have their own unique spark to them and things that some of them do better than others. They kind of just come down to that kind of 50-50 feeling I always get with them. So, yeah, I have a hard time there. Hopefully this video was able to record. Oh, my quest is right on top of me. Read the director's holotape. Oh, right. I didn't mean to turn on the light. But, yeah, like that's just my personal opinion. I like which ones I like, what my different perspectives, and when I was playing each of these games, what perspective I had for each of them when going through them. So I hope you were able to hear all this. I hope any of this was informative for you or you found interesting, or maybe you have a different point of view or perspective to add to all of this. This video will always be on the channel, hopefully all of it, because I've had a video cut itself on me for some reason. And hopefully it will be on there for good so that you can watch through even if you have to skip along and get to different points. I wish I could part my video for you guys to show what section, though I'm not always consistent with that stuff, so some of it might get mixed in there, and I did kind of have to bunch a couple of these areas into each one, all of these different, what would you call it, categories, I guess, and bunch them into some places because I had something to contribute from one to the other. I did have to write mostly the categories and such. When it came to what I had to say about each, that came mostly my head experience, so not all of this is scripted, but I did have some scripted stuff, but not all of it is scripted. Once again, you can probably tell in some cases with me doing my Jeff Goldblum from time to time. Goldblum. But yeah, I'll be doing the Elder Scrolls games next time, and that's just my perspective. Love whatever game you love, hate whatever game you hate, whatever. But I do think there are things not to overlook with each of them, or there are things some do better than others, and some that they don't do better than others, and then once again I have that 50-50 split or divide with how I feel on each game. Most of the aspects I did find that Fallout 4 and 3 were doing better than New Vegas, where New Vegas was more strong in the story and the narrative, the utilization of its main character, as well as the dialogue options and such, and to a percentage of that, even the way it utilizes choices in the world. Though you can exploit certain things there too, or even in the companions, which you can also exploit certain things there as well. And then the side quests and vaults started to fall off for me there, where I liked them better in Fallout 3 and such. So that's my conclusion. Thank you very much for watching, listening, whatever. I'm gonna read this freaking holotape that wants me to. I don't know where the frick it is, though. I'm having a hard time. This is it? Yeah, director's notes. And I will read this and end the video. I hope you enjoyed once again. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments below. When you do, hit the little bell for notifications. Keep up to date with the latest content and our videos. This was just a video idea I had for recently, and I will still be doing my read-alongs. I have plenty of time to do that, don't worry. A lot of the read-alongs, I actually was able to finally have enough bookmarks to save my freaking places now, so I have in each book my places saved. So, I will see you guys next time. Bye, and have a